And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Fnatic, it's Talon, and they are our third matchup of today. And both of these teams did not have the best of days last week. They got so close, but unfortunately so far. At least Fnatic were able to collect a point, but Talon lost in regulation time against Fav Gaming, and that means you get nothing, absolutely nothing at the end. Well, I'm Milosh. With me are Dez and Ace on here. Ace is still remotely on the other side of Paris with us, as hopefully next week, this is going to be like the last time you'll see him on here. And next week, if all goes well, he'll be out of his quarantine and with us all to meet again. So
Big Tim becomes average Tim at that time.
He's still
average size.
He becomes lovely.
There's nothing average about it.
Not about those shirts, mate. That's the way I'd describe it.
I don't think he's talking about the shirts.
Oh, no.
But as we move on with our teams, however, we have a chat about Talon. First, we bring them up on the screen for you. And that is the question now for me. Tomorrow, as is Labyrinth, Soldier, and Kanos. What's the dealio here, Ace?
Well, Talon, for me, were one of the teams that showed some promise during Stage 1. I always felt like they could challenge towards the top and just dipped off a little bit at the end, and then they've struggled to pick it up in Stage 1, taking... I don't want to go as far as saying a surprise defeat against Fav. It's always going to be a competitive game, but I think a lot of us did edge it towards Talon. They weren't able to get the result, and I think Aziz having a quiet day. I don't want to put it all on him. We'll talk about that as the pre-show goes on, but it didn't help. It didn't help. He had a really quiet day in his terms, and I just think it was tough for them last week. I'm not sure it's going to get any easier this week. They really need everybody else stepping up, and that's the point I wanted to make. If they're going to do it here, they can't always rely on Aziz. If he doesn't have the day, if he doesn't have the game, we've got to find it from somewhere else if Talon want to go on and be successful. As we can see, it was a close game with Fav, so nothing to be worried about just yet. But if it's a loss here to Fnatic, for example, then you start thinking, right, you've only got 5 games left, and there's a lot of ground to make up.
And just to confirm, Kanos today will not be on the starting lineup for Talon in their match. Is Sayora that'll be joining in his stead. So something for us to explore today in this matchup. Though their opponents, Fnatic, I don't think they need too much of an introduction, given that this show is still geared more towards our Western audience. Is Tex, Lusty, Mag, Mentalist, and Stigs. Of course, Alphama being still in France.
He is indeed. And for these boys last week, honestly, really impressed. And I know last year there were a few conversations around, well, ping doesn't really help. I don't kind of want to jump on that bandwagon, but last week it looked like that was one of the contributing factors. Their lineups in terms of the crossfires they got on the roamers of CAG, for example, the drone work, the verticals they were opening up. It was like watching a Western team perform really well when it comes to the strategy side of things and just struggled to close out a number of gunfights. Mag didn't have a great start. He was 0-6 in the first half, and they really needed him to have a little bit of contribution. But Mentalist, a player that was stepping in for them in place of Alphama, incredible week. Lots of early round contribution. You can see was 4 on the entry. Also got involved in the later round and a couple of the rounds too. They just couldn't quite edge it over the finish line against a team that many consider coming into the stage the best team in APAC North. Not a bad first showing. I'm expecting them to do really well today. I'm just hoping they haven't fallen off in the space of a week.
And you see that there's a -2 there in the board between them and CAG. That went to overtime, which is why Fnatic have only 1 point instead of the 0 versus Talon. If you see them, they got none at all because they also lost by 2 rounds differential, but that was in regulation time, as we mentioned earlier. So Fnatic CAG, and a lot of people would consider CAG as the top 1 team right now in APAC North. It's pretty good for Fnatic to be able to push them to the edge in pretty much max OT in their first matchup of the stage. We'll see how that evolves over the day and how we can kind of base our story for all of these teams. So our head-to-head for this match, 1 player out of each one of these 2 teams. I am, as usual, quite the curious Milosh to see...
The curious Milosh.
Curious Milosh, yes. Mentalist and Soldier. What is the comparison, Mr. Tim?
Well, we're looking at 2 players who did reasonably well on entry. Mentalist coming in as the sort of replacement player and having to get back up to speed. Not really a replacement. He's come back into the lineup, but he has had a full stage away and he's had to get himself back up to speed and did fantastically well and very quickly. So these 2 for me are difference makers potentially. If they come out here today and have a great game, it could be the factor that picks the win up or not for their team.
Fair enough. So how about we see which map we're going to be playing on, setting ourselves towards here. Mr. Ace, he's hidden by it, but there it is. It's Consulate, and Talon will go with that final pick. They could choose between Oregon and Consulate. That was the one that they went for. Dostoevsky banned by Fnatic before, and Fnatic, because of this, will have the starting side on Consulate, and they're going for defense. So, what do you think about this, Terry?
I thought between Oregon and Consulate, I think Talon have made the right call here. Again, seeing how structured Fnatic have looked on Chalet last week, a map where, you know, good and well-structured attacks will shine. Oregon is another one of those maps. So I think going to Consulate, where the defender's going to have the run-of-the-mill things, you can get out in the map and be problematic. If Fnatic are on their point today, they're hitting really good shots, they will be able to cut the rotates like we saw coming out of Cyclops last week. Really depends how aggressive Cyclops want to be out on their own, to be honest. That's what I'm watching for.
Tim?
I just love Consulate, Milosh. I'm happy anytime.
It's the new Oregon, I swear to God. We've seen it so much this week.
I just absolutely love it. So I'm not going to complain at all. I think, is it a good map for Talon to go to? Yes, I agree with Des. I think it's probably a better option than Oregon facing up against Fnatic, who we would expect to do well in structured environments. This just gives Talon an opportunity to be unpredictable. You've got all those staircases, all those hatches. We saw Citizen do it in the last EUL Playday, just bouncing up and down between floors. It just couldn't be pinned down. And if they can replicate something like that, then maybe they get some joy.
Well, to be honest with you, after the past 6 months, I kind of want to take a break from consulates in general, but here we are here for yet another one here in Siege. I'm quite excited for it. As usual in Fnatic, we all want to see them perform for their best. It's been a year now. It's time, man. We got it.
Absolutely. I mean, Ping, again, it's an excuse you can wave around for the longest time. People play on Ping. It's a thing. At some point, they will move to Japan. Things will be hopefully improve for them then. But we're seeing the signs now. You've got to make it work before you get to Japan as well, though. All
right. Ace, Des, thank you so very much for your intel on this one. It is time, though, to toss it to our casters. We're going to go to Consulate, and this is Fnatic versus Talon. Let's toss it then to Happen M. Enjoy.
Thank you, Milosh. And you can go take that small break from the Consulate then. We'll take it from here for the next hour or so, where we will see Talon going up against Fnatic to decide who will be the better team today and who will be taking home the majority of the points.
Or like the next 30 minutes if someone gets slapped.
Or that.
Who knows?
It's either
That's
of
what we're
the
going to
two.
find out. We're going to have a look in and see who can be that team that brings that success. You guys at home, you believe Fnatic have this pretty much wrapped in the bag. 80-20, okay. That's not wrapped in the bag, but it's a good split.
Definitely a good split. I was just thinking back about the previous two games. I'm not sure if Socials was right on those.
I don't think any of us have been right.
I don't think any of us have been right either.
To the correct one, apart from maybe Tim with his out there selections he likes to do.
I think the only different game we had here today was this one. I think Tim was the one who went for Talon. Everybody else, believe, went for Fnatic. But I'm not quite sure.
I don't remember what I chose.
I don't remember either.
We choose them when we like first show up in the studio.
I chose them when I woke up. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, see.
These and these. Des apparently spends a couple of hours a day to try and get his predictions right.
Yeah, and look what that does to him.
Yeah, he's still on the same level as us, so.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Flores.
If there's anything to learn, no effort. Flores, gone. Jackal, gone. You assume Valkyrie, gone, probably.
Could be, yes, indeed. Maybe a Mira, maybe a, well, not Cade, considering Thatcher is open. Thatcher is open. Hey, that's something we don't... Oh, Echo. All right. Understandable. We've seen some quite annoying plays on Consulate where you can open up the hatch on the bottom floor and jump all the way up through it, up onto the ceiling, make sure you get you one stun out, and then drop it back down.
There she goes.
You also got banned.
I got banned?
Yeah.
I thought I was the IQ skin. Not
Isn't it Ella?
No, the Ella skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new Ella skin.
I know, but you cosplayed as Valkyrie before.
I have
so
cosplayed as Valkyrie. The new Ella skin... I don't know. I need to talk about rights for that.
You signed them away anyway.
I do actually, but you know, it's nice to be in the game.
It is nice to be in the game.
Yeah.
I wish I had a.
What operator would you be?
Well,
if you could cosplay an operator.
Okay, I don't know which I would cosplay, but when I was asking people about it, they said you'd make a good warden. But then the janitor came around here, and I'm like, fantastic. I don't think I'm gonna be able to outdo that.
All right, EMEA talent team, bam. Tim is Pulse, bam.
Okay.
Me is the new Ella skin that is just me.
Yeah, Milosh is Maestro.
Bam. Milosh is Maestro. Bam. Des, Jaeger, because he's
Jaeger.
No, Mozzie, because he's short.
Mozzie's short. All right, yeah. No, I can put that on.
suggests Ash.
Okay, I can also get that one.
Ponytail and runs fast.
Is she fast? I haven't seen her run yet,
You would
though.
assume she's very active. She goes to the gym and stuff. This is a completely throwaway conversation as we get into
Yeah.
the game. And then Hap, Warden, potentially.
Yeah, maybe something else.
God, that was done. Now let's talk about this. Flores is gone. If you're unaware, he's pretty good right now. Let's quickly break that down. I'll tie it into the point I just made about cosplays and Ash. Yeah, sometimes you'll see him brought instead of her by old Ash mains. There's actually been a really fascinating chart that we talked about the other day. It's on CGG where they did an article. There's a 66% decline in Ash picks. And the people who stepped in, it was either generally Zofia, or it was Eon or any EU, especially, or it was Flores. Flores is in that gap.
But he will not be played. Talon actually decided to go for the ban onto Flores, which means that he will not be played here, at least not in this matchup. Meaning that different ways will have to be found to bring that soft destruction. And you see Tomorrow doing that by bringing breaching charges. Of course, have the sledge as well. You have the Sophie, of course, with the 2 impact. So it's plenty of opportunity. And now we're coming up to the infamous Battle of the Yellow Stairs, which means that this is going to be timed with just a grenade and an EMP that will disable any ADS that could be placed down. And that is surely not going to be going too well here for Styx, who's just trying to trick with that one ADS he still has in pocket to make sure that he is going to be staying alive. Putting down the ADS might be a bit too late, but gets an overheal from the dock, and this will decide just barely to survive, rather. And all the rest of the stims will be used to keep him alive for now as well. Is there any frag grenades left? No, both used. So that means he will stay in control for now.
Well played there by Tex to be the catch to make sure that he wasn't taken out of the mix very early. That overheal was the difference, and now they're going to try and apply the stress elsewhere. They've pulled some of the pressure to the top of the yellow, but they've used a lot of utility. And this is a great response here from Fnatic. I think they had a read that they're going to try and apply this pressure quite quickly. Let's slow them down. Let's sort of say, no, you can't do a half push off of the burn of utility. You've got to do an entire reset. You've got to restructure yourself. It's been a bit of a cost for them to pull it off too, but with Wumai still generating those discs, with them still in these good positions, with now all those ADSs that weren't caught, if any, weren't caught by the frag grenade, potentially able to reset. There's at least one. That gives them a new setup. That gives them a new breath of life, and it means Talon have to do an entirely new take instead of a half take.
There's only 2 impacts and 1 smoke canister left on the attack, and as Styx go aggressive, he will be able to pick up the double kill here. Tries to go for 3 by challenging the outside window. Not going to be able to find that one yet, but the diffuser is dropped down in the middle of the yellow stairs, and there's going to be this rappel in right here. We'll be able to pick up that kill, and it's going to be a 4-on-2, but yellow still not really under control for Talon.
Yeah, Tex shot just into the wrong aspect there. Hits the corpse. Couldn't quite find the body, but 3 big blows already. Only Tomorrow and, well, Aziz left, but now it is just Aziz who is trying to bring everything back together. Fantastic player, but in a 3 versus 1, 30 seconds, and the diffuser very isolated at the top of yellow stairs. It won't make any of this easy. Crept through, just as they weren't quite paying attention, but they kind of say, well, we're still up here, we have presence. We now have you on that spiral cam and the front door cam too. They are entirely aware of this hold, and this is more just holding off, slowing out the end of the round, seeing if they can catch an exit. There's no point throwing themselves entirely into the fire at this point. Fnatic clean up this first round with what was a very good hold against that attempted execute.
That's it, right? The yellow stairs are very crucial here because there's 2 takes. You have the console rappel in together, of course, with maybe the connector to be locked down, the bathroom to be locked down, but of course the yellow stairs pressure, which means that you need to take control of yellow. The other take you could go for is an admin take, but of course there is no direct entry from a staircase or anything like that. You're basically only going to be able to use the windows that are here there, which makes it a little bit more difficult to take control of it. So instead they wanted to go for the yellow stairs push. And we all saw that, we all remember that one clip on LATAM where 16 million flashbangs were tossed in together with 15 million grenades. Yeah, no one was going to be coming out of that one alive. For now, it was just 1 grenade that was being tossed in together with a couple of flashbangs and an EMP on top to disable ADS that would maybe be placed. And the crucial part, the overheal from the dock, which puts you onto 140 HP just for a little bit of time. It starts to degrade, but as you can see, he had 10 HP left at the end of it. Instantly got healed back up, of course, with the remaining 2 stims, but there was no grenades left. Maybe used it a little bit too quick there because one of them got caught by an ADS, which shouldn't have happened in their setup, but did nonetheless.
I am curious if that was actually a tactical timeout or if that was just us putting a graphic up there for a technical. Because if that was a tactical confirmed, that's
Who took the tactical?
very early.
Was it Talon? I would assume so.
Yeah? Talon took a tactical after the first round going away from them.
All right. Well, I mean, there was some misuse in the utility there, so a bit of miscoordination. So maybe they'll just quickly need to talk. Of course, they're playing with a 6th today rather than their full 5 lineup. So maybe they just quickly need to get everything back in place.
But after the first round? After the first round, we haven't even seen more than one site, and it wasn't that everything went tragically wrong. It wasn't that they were entirely swept aside. Sure, there was still a good hold of Fnatic at the end there, but it's the opening round. You've seen... I don't know. I guess, we're not in that room. We're not in those comms. We have no idea. You can only ever, from our situation, sort of look at that as a peculiarity and go, a tactical timeout. If you're unaware, if you're somehow watching this, hey, welcome, first of all. And you only get one of those per team. You only get one tactical timeout. You can call technicals if there's bugs and glitches and stuff like that. But that wasn't. That was them saying we need a minute to talk. And I guess you hope to see them have some success from that.
You really hope indeed. Tax now on the spawn peak here. He's trying to instantly make sure that that success won't last long. Open up every single window on that top floor towards the spawns on the southern side of the map. That is going to be making sure they're a bit more careful in their approach, but doesn't really seem to be mattering that much. Azzy also onto the Blackbeard, an operator that he's very proficient on. See if it's going to be making the change, if he's going to be able to cut out these angles. But they realize now themselves as well, there is going to be that mirror window that could be difficult to deal with. And EMP will be temporarily disabling the Aruni laser gate. But of course they will be coming back online, and that means that that mirror window is literally just there. There's nothing else.
Imagine if there was a body behind it. The C4 opens up, takes care of the Zephyr, who... Not entirely sure where that happened, but it's an early engagement that's gone their way. Could have been an admin, and that's why Soldier's trying to creep their way around with the frag grenades, but either way, it's a big blow to that utility that they kind of desperately need to take care of the backline and remove it. Or was it just by the side of Piano? I think it was actually by the side of Piano that they might have been C4'd and removed. Either way, they're gone early, and they've been able to pull themselves back round now. They're locked in and they're reconfiguring themselves. Taking out these Aruni gates is a burn of utility, but it's got to be done, and you sort of have to try and find a way to build behind it, because you still have a lot of structural work to do elsewhere, and you know that these gates are just going to be re-enabled, likely, because they don't really have to change up their aim and their hold too much to get it kicked in. And with Piano there, with sort of yellow stairs still not under your control, it's a bit of a waste of utility.
Still going to be disabled for like another 15 seconds or so, and that means that there is a little bit of an opportunity to start pushing. And as the EMPs are starting to be tossed in now, as he spots out the second mirror window and knows it's going to be very dangerous. In the meantime, however, the plan's already going down. Tomorrow is going to be smoked out. The nitro cell comes in as well. That's a diffuser now dropped in the front of the white van, and that needs to be recovered by the side of Talon. The question is, can they do it in time, or will they again reactivate those laser gates, which will make it so much harder to actually go through, because they can be reactivated at this point.
Mac's going to try and hold the back of the white van as everything is opened above him. He knows he's got to take a chance and a risk there. There's still a bit of a hold above, but 30 seconds. Labyrinth pulls the diffuser back outside, gets themselves to a bit of a safer spot now. That's every smoke canister popped. One C4 still in pocket, and Mentalist locking down the mirror window. He's not going to overstretch for this yet, and there's going to be Stiggs that tries to step forward. Tex on the spray around the corner. The cover comes through from Aziz, gets the double, puts us into a 2 versus 2 post plant behind that singular wall, that presence. Tex slightly isolated from Stiggs, who's holding around the back of white van. They're communicating, they're rotating, they're drawing some attention. That Blackbeard is eyeing this jump out curiously. Hears it knocked above him, but is playing so close that he otherwise isn't gonna get located. It's a lot of time that's being burnt now. They know that they have to be a bit bold and brash to take this first engagement. Looks the wrong way, still takes it. Labyrinth inside though. That's the important kill. Labyrinth drops Stiggs on the cover of the diffuser and picks up the second as the man hops out over the side.
I was going to say, would there be an opportunity to try and long arm it right behind that little bit of reinforcement that was still left? Of course, it would have been a very difficult one. You would have needed the extra bit of cover. But it was a good post-plant situation there. Set up well, just trying to waste as much time as they possibly could. And with that, Talon win their first offensive round. Fnatic will decide to go to lobby press straight away. They're not trying to rerun it. They're not going to try and run it back straight away. First, continue the rotation. See if you can complete it with just that singular loss. That then gives you the opportunity to go to 2 different sites in round number 4 if you would take a hero. Of course, the first one who would be reset, and the garage if you would feel like that might have been the better approach there. Also, a point I would like to make, and I'm not sure if I'm correct in this, but sometimes I do see EMPs being tossed in just in front of a laser gate, even when there's no other piece of utility around. Now, what that does, it will disable it for 15 seconds, but it will go activate itself again, so it doesn't need to be manually activated.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, well, if you have that EMP and there's nothing else there anyway, why don't you just toss it through so it's disabled and they need to activate it again?
Yeah. I mean, it's always that balance, though. I remember when those gates were first introduced and there was a lot of conversation about how tricky they can make things. A 30-second window is still plenty of time to break your way through on a push. As we saw then, they were still able to do it. And to be fair, after the first attempt on the plant, they could have reactivated the gates at that time.
Yeah.
But at that point, Talon had done the work that I said they sort of needed to have done to have that solidity on them. They had somebody making their way above. They had that pressure on yellow that they didn't have when they started that push. That was the point I was sort of making, and you know, they're able to do it. But if anything, that shows how long that 30 seconds is it gave them time to still do that work just about, but they got it done.
Could have possibly won the round if they reactivated it, though, because and I know I'm going to be making a stretch here, but Amira had a visual on both these little flaps you need to shoot to activate them again. Didn't do so. By that time, the Thermite ran through again through the smoke, was able to plant in a safe spot, and got out again through the different one. That would have been 40 to 80 damage.
Very damaged. Yeah, and that was the thing. The smokes were used to sort of buffer that back, and they pretty much almost secured 2 of the kills, and it would have been if the Arena Gate was there. Great take, and a much better improvement. Obviously, it's a very different story towards their take on Yellow before, where there's less bodies here, but Mag might be able to get a bit of revenge. He's just going to hold off with that heart scanner, see if he can make sure he knows when someone comes through. It's still a bit cautious on their approach. Goodbye with the C4. There it is, perfectly played there by Mac, and that's the power of Pulse on this map. It is where he is, for a lot of people,
how does the repel in?
At his strongest. Yeah, look at that, trying to get instant pickup.
Trying to instantly go after Tomorrow as soon as he realized that the repel in was there. Wasn't able to pick up that kill, of course, but at least make his position known, and the rest of Fnatic will do the same. At least they managed to bring it back to a 4-on-4 equal split in terms of man count, which will be making it just a little bit easier holding off the attack, especially in the later rounds, because there is only 1 minute 20 left on that clock. Meaning that Talon will soon have to start working their way down. In the meantime, you hear the sledge opening up into Piano. Now, that is going to be providing some extra lines of sight that you can use to potentially stop a plant from stop a plant from being counter-defused at some point. The soldier's trying to work his way down these yellow stairs. They, of course, are very worried about a potential flank to come through. So you just quickly see them swap and flick between all the drones just to make sure if it's safe or not. And as Lusty now gets a bit of a spot from the Prisma, it's going to be going even more aggressive onto the long desk.
Can they find a little bit more here to push against these bodies on the top? The more attention that's paid, obviously, it's always going to elongate the actual attempt at sticking that diffuser down, at trying to find the ground inside the site. Aziz in the connector is dancing a dangerous dance on the reverse side of the shield. In the meantime, they're able to apply some pressure. They're trying to draw more of the attention of Fnatic towards the doorway, and Stiggs is being very delicate with the angle on the antechamber. He's concerned about the hatch. He knows that there's still the presence on the vertical, but he times the swing perfectly. Lusty, in the meantime, gets the kill on the second story as well, and everything is starting to come together for Fnatic. They had that multifaceted cover they needed to make sure things worked at the same time, and it was a beautiful synergy between the 2 stories of the hold.
Good synergy indeed, and you have to just say that that first kill that came through when it was a 4-on-4 and it was about to be entering Piano was perfectly timed. Just quickly, Sam, every single time on the edge of peeking out of antechamber, but every single time just deciding not to. And at the moment he decided it was someone with a throwable in his hands that got picked up, and unfortunately lost his life there, meaning the diffuser would have to be recovered, and every single gun of Fnatic was aimed towards that way, making sure no one would be entering throughout that door, and that leaves Fnatic in a 2-1 lead. And even though Talon managed to win a round, it looks like Fnatic is feeling actually quite comfortable on Consulate so far. Whereas Talon is still trying to a little bit find their way, force themselves through. And of course, on the bottom floor, on the garage, it worked. But that might be partly due to the fact that the nature of that site is that you just need to force yourself through that door to plant.
So now we get adaptation. Now we get an idea of, I guess, two things. The first is the constant, is how does a team change when they go on attack a different site. As I said, from our very wonderful omnipotent position of being able to see when things... Everything. And that's the gift that we have.
Even Tim.
Even Tim. We can actually see him on the screens whilst the streams are up, but he hasn't got headphones in.
No.
So you can't hear us sassing him. But what you also get now is, okay, they did that round 1 rehost, which still is a point of curiosity. The round 1 tactical timeout. This is where we might be able to see that most obviously. This is where we might be able to see that lessons learned and adaptation and the change on how they're going to see if they can dismantle the hold Fnatic have driven into the top of yellow.
Sticks here quickly trying to put up a bit of pressure towards the outside. Tomorrow we'll be taking a couple of hit points worth of it. Nothing too major though. As he, of course, will stay alive. Still has those EMPs available. And look at how much there is a stack up onto the yellow stairs. I think they're just going to rush in from the bottom of it and just start running to get a Soldier providing some backup from the window. There's almost no other way because, well, there will be the overheal again. This one is a bit prematurely because there is no grenade going to be tossed in here. I think they're just going to be rushing up as soon as they get the opportunity. The only thing that these two people need to do right here on that wall is to make sure that the barbed wire will be gone. And as they keep on putting down all these ADSs, the only goal that they had was to get rid of that barbed wire.
Yeah, and you can still hear them churning and moving and running their way atop. They roll that EMP around the top. They swing and they take the first. They spray for the second, but it's a TK on the back of the stairs. Tomorrow at least makes it count for something before the canisters pop off. Mentalist is that backline they needed. Mag get the cover from the bathroom window. That is why they put all that attention to the barbed wire, but that is when just that little slip up, that TK entirely pulled the wind out of the sails. They almost escaped with that body advantage, but it was the quick cover that came from those canisters in the corner that was able to solidify some of that. Mag has stepped up into the mantle of the place played before. There is still some of the utility that is set up around. They have the gates, they have that cover. Can Aziz on the far side draw some attention now that they've done all that busybody work?
And now Talon need to figure out how to go at this attack. And as Lusty heard one of the doors open up, he is afraid someone might be in a copy room, but it's going to be Acid that sneaks around the corner, misses the shots though, will be able to get the injure, but not the kill, and that means Mentalist will be just in time to at least secure that one, bring it back to an effective 2-on-2 situation where Lusty now is functioning as a living drone, trying to give as much information to the team as he possibly can. So surely he heard the rappel up, surely he knows one is going to be onto this balcony, and probably will hear about the man coming up the spiral stairs as well. It's going to be a 2-man push from 2 different sides, and either of the Fnatic members will have one responsibility each. Mag will be able to pick up the first one, drop the diffuser as a result, and Soldier will try and salvage this round, but you see the crossfire being set up here. One on the left, one on the right. This will not last. Mag gets the second kill as well. A Fnatic win round number 4.
Really love the adaptation, the movement of the shield there. Picking that up, realizing where the push was coming from, the communication, the hold, and the restructuring of it from Fnatic. Those responses are why they're able to pull that round out. Sure, there was a bit of a misfire by Talon, but the pace that we saw Mentalist and Mag step into the mantle of the bodies that were dropped, and then the re-emergence, obviously the sneak round in the back from Aziz was very well played, but it was an instant return to fire. It was an instant bit of reconnaissance work that really paid dividends for Fnatic, and it was just really nice to see that restructuring, that communication.
It was. It was also nice to see the adaptation that Talon decided to go with, though. Instead of trying to use that utility game to displace the one player that is playing there, get rid of the barbed wire, get rid of whatever would slow you down, and just take the gunfight instead, because I don't think they would expect they would expect someone to just come up the yellow stairs in that case to try and displace you, especially not when there is so many people repelled up on the side, because there was an Ashe, there was a Zofia, and in that moment you are thinking, all right, they are going to be trying to do the same thing. They will be trying to at least get the get that grenade in yet once again, and twice the overheal failed. It did eventually come out, well, not really helpful onto the battle on yellow stairs, as it was basically an instant kill onto Styx, onto Tax, I believe it was playing there. And, you know, of course the team kill came in. And of course you saw Mag instantly taking a position, making sure that they could continue from where they left off, which was good team play from Fnatic. But I really liked to see the aggression Talon try to bring to make sure that they would be in control of yellow stairs.
All right, now this was obviously one of those sites where it was a very good two-story hold. In that position was a bit of a two-story push attempt, leaving just a singular body on the top floor, which is so important. Really nice.
Yeah, nice
there for
electric
the
claw.
claw.
Of course, could be picked up if you get bathroom control, but I think it's difficult to get it from anywhere else. With that, we'll be getting basically all 3 bathroom walls, whilst leaving one soft. Quick breaches again coming through, however. Left side has been opened up. The right side will surely follow right after. And the Twitch is debating whether or not to open up the mirror window, because is there really a need for it? At some point, yes, especially if Mentalist is playing in the position he is in right now.
I might not know about the body that's so close to the right, but is well aware of the one Tomorrow's just holding that pillion. Now we'll hear that audio. Tries to pop the mirror window themselves, make things very uncomfortable, means that they don't have that solidity to hide behind the preamble and attempt at the fire. No, they actually pulled back on the exothermic as soon as they heard the mirror window pop. I think they expected potentially a C4 to come out just from that close drop, knows that they're going to lose it anyway, so let's not play that game. Instead, Mag shows what you can do with those.
The top.
That's twice I think he's been able to open up with those C4s. Different side, different story, but still very continued use of utility coming in their favor.
Very important operator gone as well with the Zofia. That is one of the 2 hard breach options you have available to you as Talon. And we all know how important a hard breach can be if you're attacking from the piano side. So you only have the Ashe left. Yeah, finally on the toilet right here. He's trying to go a little bit higher.
He's having a couple of issues trying to get on the toilet, but that's what you do. You sort of crawl and bounce, and then the box pushes you up. And we've already joked about why you shouldn't roll around in the bathroom floor.
Yeah, don't do that. It's not very hygienic. Either way, it is going to be Talon that just have that one soft breacher left they can use to try and get some control instead of piano. But the main issue will be that mirror window in the bathroom. That will slow them down, and that means they need to go for a bit of a split push as it is. As the Ashe opens up from above with that breaching charge, Mag will be forced into a different stall to try and climb up the toilet if he wishes.
Looking to see if they can catch it. Just saw the edge of a foot, but it's always hard to tell. So sprays through, and
is that?
I think that might be solid.
No, that is soft. That is it? Is it not? I don't know. We didn't get to see it in the end. You would have gotten the kill if it wasn't soft.
Yeah,
so
that's it. Like he was firing.
Yeah, just hard above there, you see, but there's only 10 seconds left in the meantime. We totally forgot about that. Mag will go down, and they're about to be dropping in. Lusty is going to be taken out from the hatch, and this might actually still go Talon's way. They have a 1-man advantage, but the diffuser gets dropped. There's only 2 seconds left on the clock, and it's up to the Ashe and to the Twitch, but they will not be able to get these kills, and it will be Talon that is losing out on the round, and Fnatic that is extending their lead. Might have took a little bit too long trying to clear out that one player into the bathroom. Even we lost track of time whilst it was happening.
I was going to say, there was such a lack of focus on the side for the attackers that you assumed that there was more time left, and that, I guess, is technically our jobs. We should have been paying a little bit more attention. But at the same time...
It's also their job.
It's also their job, and their job ended up with that diffuser cold right on the entrance, right on the way in. Mag...
That surely is going to get 6 picked out. There we have it.
It would have been fun. I mean...
Would have been.
The thing is, on this map, with this confidence, with how well they're dismantling the attacks, I would understand. But also at the same time, their dismantling from Fnatic, it's not coming from roaming or flanking. It's coming from great holds. It's coming from design.
And making sure you waste as much time in Talon's pocket who are trying to figure out the puzzle that has been set up in front of them. And we saw them bringing some adaptations there. The previous round was maybe a little bit of a less well explain example as they, to try to get rid of the player in the bathroom. It is hard, we figured out. They're not going to be able to get rid of the player in there, so they needed to find the horizontal angles, which they did eventually. There's only 12 seconds left in that case, and they needed to drop that hatch. And if there's 12 seconds left that you need to drop a hatch, that's not really ideal. Of course, we were able to pick up some great kills, and the diffuser got dropped in the meantime on the front of the white van. There's also some great game sense from Fnatic, knowing that they will have to rush it, and they will have to get that diffuser down either way. And the best way would have been going was, of course, that main breach that was being held off well.
Okay, now with the split site for the first time as their final hold, let's see what they can do. It's often this sort of stacked setup. We've seen this played a lot. You will have ADSs inside that cabinet upstairs with the mirror window. Sometimes you'll also see the Aruni there as well, which has been something that Fnatic's played with obviously throughout this game, just to, again, have some more cover on the door and buy yourself some more time against grenades or any utility that's getting thrown through. But to be fair, that's a game that Fnatic's done very well right now, is playing against that, and they have Tex being a little bit more aggro inside admin itself. He's got 2 of his ADSs for his own cover. You assume the third is potentially on the mirror window to make sure they can't just get him from Printer. And you can hear it ticking away a little bit in mute jammers as well. I mean, how are Talon going to answer this problem, I suppose? Look
at how much information there is as well. There is Max spotting them from below. He's like, there's still 2 people repelled up on admin. Like, you can stay there. You don't really need to move. Surely Lusty is aware of the fact that one is inside a copy, especially when one of the stuns is about to be tossed through. The repel in will come, and Mentalist is about to swing in. And that means, well, the mirror window is down for now, but that is a position you can retake if you're feeling confident for it. And Tex is still alive in the bottom of admin. Of course, he's being pressured from the 2 different window angles, but as long as he's alive, that means there is no way to enter for Talon.
Yeah, Soldier tried to pinch Tex at that moment as they pushed on the mirror. The mirror kill was successful there as the pings onto Tex, who is entirely under fire. He's trying to crawl his way out to something of safety. There's not much Mentalist can really do because that was always going to happen. The angles were not going to play into his favor. It was a great take against the mirror. They finally found Tex as well. They lost 1 body, but Soldier hasn't been able to take anybody. As of yet, the Zofia has really been stunned themselves before they can even dig in to any of the holds so far. And that's a big blow, I think, to Talon, that's a player who usually can be so good and so aggressive. Yeah, it's Pulse.
Meg is just loving life right now. He's like, all right, they open up the hatch. There's 3 people about to drop Visa hatch, it looks like. We might need someone to come down. In the meantime, as he's coming in from benches, we'll be wasting all his ammunition to open up the 1 bench. And now they know everybody. Oh, double kill with the C4 from Mag. It's only up to Labyrinth right now inside of Visa. Is he going to be able to pick up these kills onto the player in Teller or onto the player in benches? Neither will fall. It sticks with the final kill. And the shotgun will come in yet once again. And Fnatic will end the half with a 5-1 lead.
It's just been very solid Fnatic ults. I know I've already said it a couple of times, but their structure has been fantastic on Consulate. And
it is.
Talon have struggled to find a way to break through those holds, those designs, those sort of machinations of this is how we want to play this. And as I said, you can obviously see when they need to. There is great adaptation, there's great communication that's coming through from the guns of Fnatic. Their repositioning of shields, the new plays and places, Mentalist moving into the situation when they realized where the calls were coming from the pulse underneath to take that kill on the swing on the Zofia inside Printer. That's all great communication, but at the same time, they still have that sturdiness behind them. Mag having as many C4 kills as the 2nd highest player on their opposing team has kills. I think it just shows that level of calm, cool, collected of everything is going to plan, lads.
Everything is definitely going to plan for so far. Well, right now at least. 5-1 current scoreline. Talon will have to try and bring it back. They're on the defense themselves now. Lobby press will be the first site they choose to go to. And Fnatic is already setting up their drones, trying to figure out what would be the best way to try and attack this current iteration of Talon with the current strategies that they are putting up to us. Mag has a drone on site. Lusty is quite close as well, so actually he's on that top 4, I believe. He's digging in right behind the plant, so they know there's going to be vertical pressure. And with that, they have 2 key pieces of information. They know who is inside of Projector. They know who's inside of the lobby room. With that, that is going to be basically 50% of the top 4 control that you want to take and 50% of the horizontal control that you need to at least have. And Soldier trying to go for a bit of a spawn peek here. His Mentalist to already quickly open up I think that is the door. All right, that's interesting. A door open up with Excaros, which is probably to put a little bit of extra pressure down.
Now, I guess the curiosities have peaked in how to,
I think they're going to rush.
I guess, pull it apart. And yeah, I mean, it's the setup. It's a bit of a burst utility there. A very early canister pops to, I guess, work on the same principles that you're saying. They want to make sure that they aren't entirely overwhelmed. You have still a lot of canisters. There's 2 smokes that are gone, sure, from the pockets of Mag.
Oh, beautiful.
Great take with that grenade, and you've still got the cover from the Capitao. They're almost able to strike back against Mag, against that diffuser carrier, but they can't quite confirm that kill, and Capitao is ready to rock and roll, covers up the antechamber. There's Aziz who slipped it on the backside and gets a very easy pick up onto the first. That puts the diffuser in a tricky situation, and that puts, I guess, Fnatic in a bit of a tricky situation, because that's only 1 smoke bolt left now and just 3 flashes.
Mentalist coming in from the side, however, they know he's in the back of the lobby, and as he is sneaking through, I don't think there's going to be any other pressure coming down from the spiral stairs, and Styx right now making himself known. The Banshee will scream, and the kill will be coming in. That's now a 4-on-4 situation, but remember, Labyrinth is still down. Top floor control slowly being established as well, and with 1 minute 20 on that clock, as soon as that top floor control is there, they are going to be able to go for the plant. Smoke canister will be coming in. Tax is taking down that diffuser, trying to make sure that the plant will be coming in, as Soldier needs to go for these kills, but the cover is right there. The great kill comes in. It's only up to the Jaeger now, managed to pick up a kill, but look at the timing left. Just a minute still that he needs to survive. Just a minute still that he would need to fight back Fnatic. He's not able to do that. And with that, Fnatic put themselves up to match points, and not just 1, it is 5 match points that Talon now need to fight back. Talon now need to survive. And they need to be perfectly flawless if they want to make sure that they can bring it back to a potential 2-pointer. Even for 1 point.
It's so tricky. It's so tough because Fnatic is playing so well. They obviously had that plan A, which was the push with the smoke canisters. It didn't quite come together, but you see Mentalist coming around the backside of Vizek, pushing around the back of the side itself. Yep. You see them still setting up for these plan Bs whilst plan A is struggling, and it's just been so good. From Fnatic, Talon, sure, they've had missed moments. They haven't really ever felt like they have to bite into this game that they've had in other games, matchups. You know, it's a tricky map for them because sometimes I would say you see Talon perform better on maps where they have more internal play space to move around with. They can go for a bit of a roam, a bit of an explore, and a bit of a sort of execute in other places. You like Oregon, like sort of club, and here they don't have that internal space. And
no, and we did kind of say this one would be a better option probably than Oregon for Talon, because of the fact that Oregon would be more structured. But by the way that Fnatic is playing, it is looking very structured in what they're doing. Their setups are very well on point. They're using the pulse for a lot of the information. They're using utility to make sure that they are going to be able to pick up these entry kills, of course, with the Nitro, the double kill for Mag, for example. But also what you just saw in that previous attack round. They get the drones and know where they are. Beautiful grenade in first onto that mirror, which gets the injury with that antechamber is basically neutralized. Nothing is going to be happening from there. You have a player still in the bathroom, but that's okay. You realize after you try and go for the plant, all right, there is one on the back of the lobby. We'll send a Mentalist who was still holding off Visa for a potential flank. At the same time, there is the top floor control that is holding off the vertical angle so they cannot be used as soon as Tex wanted to go for the plant again. So everything was being taken care of. Everything was thought of and well executed. Everything worked for them in that round, and that is due to the fact that these first kills go their way, and then you can start snowballing, like you have the extra manpower you can use to make something happen.
So, if you haven't guessed, based on the little circle up in the top corner there, we're just having a quick technical pause on map point time for them to obviously make sure that they can get everything sorted. It's still a long journey for them to try and pull this back. 6-1. I think after the performance Talon had last week, you expected them to dig in a little bit more, but I really just think Consulate is a map that has entirely slipped away from them.
It definitely did, and it also tells you something about how good Fnatic is playing right now. Of course, they came up really close, I believe, against Cyclops. 6-8 loss. Unfortunate in that case, but you're still picking up that point, and it's still going to be that team that everybody was thinking about. Like, this could be the new #1 team, especially after the 0-7 that Cloud9 received themselves. So Fnatic putting up a really good show there, and now they're up here up against Talon. And I said before, this could be an hour And then you said, or it could be 30 minutes
could
if
be
they
30
absolutely stomp them. It's looking more like 30 minutes because I think we're on the 30-minute mark right now.
I mean, I'm kind of glad I'm right about this because I think I might have been with Tim and put Talon in the predictions.
I think I wasn't Fnatic. That would put us all up into equal rounds again.
Yeah, 'cause I
except for
was ahead.
Milosh.
Milosh is just the Death Coast.
Will be the
I
Death
saw a
Coast.
response as well. I know we were talking about this at the very beginning of the game. We were talking about who would cosplay who. I got a response from a fantastic cosplayer in the community.
Okay, yeah.
Artifacts Warden, who's pretty much a professional Warden cosplayer.
Okay, yeah.
Or as professional as one could be. And they said you'd make a great Flores.
Flores.
A great Flores.
Okay, I mean,
There you go.
if I
You
just
can
need to
picture that
colour
right
my-
now.
I just need to color my glasses.
Looking at happy. Just imagine red glasses. There you go.
Surely someone will edit that.
It's
That
like
is-
Flores is right here with us. But anyway, that's a side note. That was just something I just suddenly remembered as we find ourselves filling this time. Okay, 6-1. Okay, what you've seen so far has just been a little taste of a Talon defense. They have options. Where do you think they might be able to structure themselves best in terms of what do you feel is the? It's not the golden ticket to success. But what is their best hope?
There may be door back in the game.
Yeah. What's their route in?
I think we're gonna have to go basic here. I think we need to go to the bottom floor. There's not that many windows you can be taken care of because we just saw that the window play was quite effective from Fnatic. They were able to get the opening DBNO in it, not really the opening kill, but eventually died from it. But also they managed to, with those windows, shut down any verticality that they tried to set up. And in base, if you're setting yourself up well to try and deny the wall from opening up as long as you possibly can, if you use those smoke canisters, maybe Evil Eyes, Nitros, to deny a plant from happening, and you're just very aggressive on the outside and win some of those gunfights, you might be able to find yourself at least a round back in. From there on, it is going to be a bit more difficult because every other site has windows that you need to be careful of, which didn't really be working out for them in that previous round. But yeah, I think the basement is what they should be attempting.
Wow. We might be finding out just soon as the magical timer in the top right
Has disappeared. It
corner.
was
It's
right there.
our
It's
left.
gone. And we're in the game.
It's stage left. Audience right,
Okay.
technically.
Look, I don't know these terms.
Stage left.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Because for me, we are on the
It's our
stage
left and we're
it's
on
on
the
our
stage.
left.
Yep.
But if someone would be sitting where the cameras are, it would be on the right.
Yeah. Hi, welcome to our broadcast. We're struggling with the concepts of left
Left and right.
and right.
Have you ever had a call, he's on your left and then he was on your right?
No, but I have played a game once, been frustrated with the calls, and realized I had my headphones on backwards.
Yeah. No, that fair.
That shows if you have never made at least Plat 3, Plat 2 as your standard, that's the tier of play that I usually end up at, and I've played with my headphones on backwards. That's how stupid I am.
But you still reached plat 2 in it.
I still...
I'm just saying.
Yeah, take that, Des.
You need sound. You take that, Des, you bronze.
I think you just get a dig. He's watching somewhere in the studio.
He's watching somewhere.
Yeah.
He cannot defend himself right now.
No.
I did it when number 2, I'm doing it now.
So, they did not go down to the bottom.
No, they didn't.
They instead hold their hope up here for the top. Gonna dig the claw in there.
This Mew Jammer does not get destroyed anymore. Oh.
No. But he's still not gonna do it. Instead, he's gonna play it. Okay, keep the control over
Where's
Visa's
the
stairs.
second one then? Where's the second one? Okay.
The thing is, the bottom of Visa's stairs often
Place them
falls.
okay.
It's the top of Visa's stairs where things get dicey, so I guess it can draw attention away and you can be less focused if you play something around there.
Why is this electrified?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't really see the point of it, but maybe there is. Maybe Fnatic would like to open up some extra angles with the Heart Breach. Won't be able to do it now unless they rappel up on connector window. Either way, it is going to be Talon on the defense. Maybe one more time. Let's see, Maestro playing very far offside. The EMP will come in. They will deny all the ADSs, the Evil Eye, and the Pest that was located around the window. If he would have been able to follow that one up with a grenade, that would have been a huge pick onto the player in the corner. And, well, maybe they will actually do that because the Sludge is coming into position. I believe another EMP could be tossed in at any time right now. They just need to figure out if he's indeed still in that corner. You see Tex in the meantime opening up an angle as well, so he can take him out if they would be running out. And that is also the angle they will use to get the grenade in. There comes the EMP. The grenade will now be tossed out. Surely you will be running, and there you have it. Tex will be able to pick up the kill. The grenade doesn't even have to get used, and that means he can put the pin back in and put it back in his pocket.
Yeah, make sure he puts the pin back in. Opt out, drop down. Let's have to cover there. Tomorrow, see you at the same time as your name instantly removed from the fight there. It has just been more of the Fnatic show. There's some feet, there's a leg, there's a couple of bullets, but not enough to take care of Lusty. He reacts quick enough, and that allows them to stay a little bit more controlled and contrived. They had some attempt, or not contrived even, now it feels a little bit contrived. They're behind the wall that was electrified. It's not offering them much. There's the creep round.
What a good grenade.
Deep grenades sprayed across the top two. They can't quite find the body that's behind that connector side.
Thought it was going to be bouncing off of the door frame, surely right into his hands. Didn't, of course, happen in the end. And as now I believe that is grenades being tossed out and the smoke canister in the connector. That means they will be pushing in for these last 55 seconds.
Well, the C4 was shot out from the side of the smoke as East actually gets one. Soldier is underneath, can cause some problems, but does not because he's dropped by Mentalist, I assume, on the bottom of yellow. They're able to get the diffuser back up. They're able to start digging themselves inside the site with a bit of pressure. As Talon just kind of hold onto it on that back line. Obviously, there's not going to be able to get Soldier up, but again, look at this. It's this 3 versus 1 situation, and they had about 45 seconds left. So Fnatic have had this time to restructure, resurface, and rebuild. The spray across the top forces them into the gunfire of another player. He's low health. He's got none left. Mentalist, as I said, wrapped up underneath 2, and Fnatic with a 7-1 sort of masterclass on Consular.
It's not really the 7-0 we saw earlier last week, but it is still a very good performance here for Fnatic. Even more than a very good performance, as you said, almost perfect out here. Able to pick up the 3 points with quite some fashion. Let's see if they can build onto this right here, right now, up into these next weeks. Because everybody is waiting for Fnatic to finally be back onto the top flights of the APAC leaderboard. Might this be their way back?
Wow, it was a very, very good performance. I mean, we've complimented it enough, but it's time to throw it over to Pulse, Mozzie, and Maestro to see what they think on the desk.
Thanks so very much, Em, for that beautiful introduction.
Oh, man, Mozzie